Hi, I'm Lori Dufresne, Certified Health Coach with Optavia. Today we're going to be talking about being overwhelmed. I just got off of a client call, so that's why I guess, motivated and inspired to talk about this topic because I see it showing up a lot with everyone I work with. And quite honestly, it showed up with me a lot in my life up until about 5 years ago when I started health coaching and started receiving the mentorship that I've received in learning how to create the life of my dreams and what I desire. Now, this specific person has really allowed her life to become very overwhelming. It's a choice. Overwhelm is a choice. And every time we talk, it's, oh, I'm so overwhelmed. I'm so overloaded. I'm just out of control. I have so much going on. I'm working around the clock. I have to take care of my kids. I have to do this. I have to do that. And honestly, it's exhausting. It's exhausting for me, and I'm just listening. I can't even imagine how exhausting it is for her to be living in that space, living in that, what we like to say below the line space, where below the line is when you're showing up as a victim or a villain or a hero, where you're trying to save everybody from everything. I'm going to jump in and save the day, but then yet I'm putting myself last. And we tend to do that sometimes when we're a hero. Now, I am used to be number one hero of all. Let me help you. Let me help you. I'm a helper. I'm a supporter. It brings me joy to help other people. However, if I keep helping and helping and helping and overextending myself, then there's nothing left for me and I'm empty and I'm dry. So how can I fill other people's cups when my cup is empty? So let's talk about that today because this keeps showing up in so many of my client calls. There's a big need. And so I thought, let's see what we can do together and see if this can inspire maybe somebody else. The call this morning was quite awakening for my client, and I thought, let's just share the love, right? So if overwhelm is showing up in your life quite a bit, then let's try to take you to more of a proactive state. What if you looked at your life as if you were the architect of your life and you were designing each day? And you got up a little bit earlier to plan your day. You learned to say no. And that's not always a bad thing. Sometimes we're enabling others instead of empowering them, because if we keep doing everything for everyone else, they're never going to learn to do it for themselves. And so learning that setting those rocks in your schedule are very, very important. What is most important to you so that when you lay your head down on your pillow at night, you feel accomplished. For me, that's spending time with my kids. It's having dinner with my kids. It's cooking dinner for my kids. That doesn't happen every week, every day. But if I can get cooking dinner in at least 4 times a week, I feel like, yes, that was a great week. It's important to me because that's what I grew up with. And those are my special memories of my childhood that I want to carry on into my children as well. Time with God for me is very important. So that's a rock in my schedule. I get up in the morning, and my family now knows this, that I go into the kitchen and I make my cappuccino and I get my blanket and I get my little dog and I sit on the couch and I will have some time with God and just listen to what He wants to use me for. I really believe in purpose in my life and living out my purpose. And I can't do that if I'm living in a place of overwhelm. My heart is not open, and I can't possibly think of doing more for others if I can't even do enough for myself to get through the day. So getting into that space of feeling having an abundant mindset. What more could I do in this world if I was better, if I showed up different, if I was above the line and responsible for my actions, for my schedule, for saying no. So thinking about that, what can you do more of in your life to serve and to do more living with an abundant mindset and actually becoming more responsible instead of victim, feeling like the overwhelmed mindset is coming from a place of victim or villain or hero. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. When you're coming up as a victim, you're feeling sorry for yourself. Oh my gosh, I'm overwhelmed. I couldn't possibly take on one more thing. And if you're a hero, You're showing up like, oh, I'll help you, I'll help you, I'll help you. But then there's no time left for you at the end of the day because you've spent 8 or 9 hours of your day doing this for this person, this for this person, this for this person, but there's nothing left for you or your family. You show up exhausted when you come home. And with villain is when you spread yourself too thin and maybe things don't necessarily go the way you'd like. And then you get angry at that person. And then you show up a little bit more of a villain. Like, I can't even believe I just spent my entire day helping them and they didn't even bother to thank me. Oh, right? Who's been there? I've been there before. And it's not fun. And it's not great. It doesn't feel good to anyone. Causes too much tension in my life. But today I'd love to talk more about choosing responsible, above the line thinking. Really showing up and understanding that you are in control of your life. You are in control of your schedule, and you are in control of the way you show up in every situation that's given to you. So waking up every morning with clarity. What if you took about 5 or 10 minutes earlier every day to start with, that you could just get clarity on your day, have time to reflect, whether it be prayer, whether it be meditation, just quiet time in general to just silence the noise of life and get that clarity. What do I want to create today? It puts you into a creative space where you are feeling empowered. And then get a little notebook out or get your calendar out and start thinking about what are those rocks? What is so important to me today that's going to make me feel fulfilled when I lay my head on my pillow? Spending time with your kids. Maybe it's exercising. Maybe it's making dinner. Maybe it's having time with your spouse. Maybe it's going for a walk with your spouse. Whatever that is, put those rocks in first. Because if you don't, you're never going to get around to the things that are the most important to you. Okay? The next thing is then you're going to feel accomplished in those things, and in any of your extra time that you have, you can fill them with those other things that you want to help. You want to be the helper, you want to do this, you want to do that. That's going to give you and free you up, free your energy up so that you're not resentful. Now, let's just say, I don't even have time for anything more. How could that be? I encourage you to get a calendar that has an hourly breakdown of you're waking up at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all a daily schedule, okay, in a column for every day of the week. Put in those rocks. And if you're working for 8 hours, that's great. Put that in that you're working for 8 hours. Now, are you taking a lunch break? Most people don't take a lunch break. So what if you actually write in your lunch break and you deserve to take a break? You can't work around the clock and expect that you're going to show up as the best version of yourself without rest throughout the day, without fueling your body with healthy nutrition, without going for a walk and getting out of the building, whatever that is to you. Make time for yourself. Okay, throughout the day, even if it's a work day, you can go out there for 10 minutes, maybe even, and just sit in your car, whatever it is, walk around the parking lot to really breathe. You need to breathe and just focus on getting into that creative mindset. Because when you're in that creative mindset, you're responsible. You're creating. You're the architect of your life. You're designing your day exactly the way you want it. Maybe you might want to readdress that on your way home from work. You can listen to some wonderful, relaxing music. Get yourself into a space that before you walk into the house to see all the chaos that's happening, you can take a little break, maybe sit in your driveway for 5 minutes, take a couple of deep breaths, listening to that relaxing music, and get yourself into space. How am I going to show up when I walk into that door? Am I going to show up exhausted and frazzled? Is that going to serve my children to see me that way? Is that going to serve my husband when I walk in and I start shouting off orders of, we need to do this, or I can't believe you did this, or I can't believe you did this? You're not going to be doing that if you've taken some time to become grounded and centered, and you prepare yourself for walking into that situation grounded and centered. So those are just a few tips. I hope it's helpful to you. I hope that you can take some time for you today so that you're not overwhelmed and that you do understand that overwhelm is a choice and that you get to design your day. And if you don't design your day, more than likely you will be choosing to be overwhelmed. I hope that leaves you some great tips and that it can make a difference for you guys today in your day. Have a great day, everyone.